Hey everybody, it's Nick. I was not planning on making a video this week actually. I was just we weren't playing this week. We missed 2 sessions. We're about to get back into it. We'll see what the players do next. For those of you who don't know, I typically make campaign diaries where I tell you the story from my game, sort of immortalize it for my players, even though they don't know about these videos. But also, I tell you some of the things that I did, or the story beats that I used, or the lessons that I learned from mistakes that I made, or successes, things that worked, things that didn't, for you to take and use in your game. And I am going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to talk about sort of a D&D concept as a whole, as opposed to something that I did in my previous game. However, I did do this thing in my previous game because I have deleted initiative from my campaign, and I am going to tell you how and why you should get rid of initiative too. Now, obviously, I think that's sort of a clickbaity title, right? I don't think that everyone definitely should get rid of initiative, but fellow D&D YouTuber Matthew Perkins and his cat, Mr. Perkins, made a video last week about initiative, and I was interacting with him in the comments and sort of giving him some of my thoughts about how I use initiative or don't, and he said, that's really cool, you should make a video about that. And so here I am. So no campaign diary this week. I'm kind of getting sick. We'll see what happens, but we have a video on initiative today. So as you may remember from my previous video about how to house rule and homebrew as a DM, specifically a new DM, one of the things which I think I can link to up above or at least down in the comments below, one of the things that is critical before you are going to house rule or change something is to figure out what problem is coming up. What is the actual problem? Not I don't like this or I don't like that. What is the functional problem that you're experiencing, and your design goals for your new thing, your new changes, should have that solution in their bones, and that should be the purpose in their solution. So Mr. Matthew Perkins had some great suggestions about initiative, and so I will link to his video and his channel as well, talking about it. So if you want other solutions, other ideas for how to maybe tweak initiative a little bit, but not full on get rid of it, then that is going to be something I'll link to below so you can see. However, I was experiencing a certain number of problems with initiative. I was seeing that it took a long time to get initiative out there. So you start off and you have these conversations, discussions, role-playing back and forth, a tension negotiation, and then somebody attacks someone else. And then you stop all of the drama for like 5 minutes and just wait for everyone to roll things, and then for you to put it into your thing with the monsters. And then I always run with like a lot of players, so like 5, 6, 7 players, so that can be a lot of time that it takes. I even pre-rolled monsters to try to make it go faster. It didn't help that much. And I think that it's very important for players to know when their turn is going to be without me telling them over and over again. So I wanted a visual cue for players to go, okay, I'm after him and before him, so that I don't have to say every turn, okay, Johnny, you're up next, and then after that is Tim, so you guys get ready for your turns. I didn't want to have to do that all the time, so what I would do is I had like a whiteboard on the other side of my DM screen where I'd write down the players' names and I'd write down their initiatives. But that means I have my thing behind the screen and then a thing in front of the screen that I had to write down everything on. So it just took a long time to get initiative to a position where we all knew what the order was and they knew when their turns were, etc. So even if you go watch like an episode of Critical Role, they take forever to get initiative, and they're in the middle of this drama, tense, back and forth. Everybody roll initiative. Ah! Okay, let's wait. 25 to 20? And we just have to go down this whole list, and it takes like minutes of time is what I feel like is being wasted. So I wanted something that would speed that process up. So I wanted something that was faster, and I wanted something that wouldn't break the flow of the game. Something that wouldn't, okay, I attack him. All right, everyone stop what you're doing, and we have to do this whole thing. So I wanted something that would flow smoothly. So how are you going to do that? I also wanted something that was maybe more tactically interesting than the order is exactly the same for forever. Sometimes it can be really predictable, and obviously you can play around with tactics if you know what the turn order is. You go before the bad guy, so you do this thing, and then I'll do that thing. But I wanted something that was maybe a little more fluid. And so I was looking around, I was trying to find something, and I found something that is called narrative initiative. So obviously, let's look at narrative initiative to see if it addresses those problems that we were trying to fix. So narrative initiative, at the beginning of every session, my players all get a playing card. and they start with a playing card face up. And as soon as someone takes a hostile action in combat, they flip their card face down, and they have taken their turn. And then anyone who wants to can take their turn. Bad guys, good guys, anyone who says, hey, I'm going to take my turn now. And then they flip their card face down, they take their turn. As soon as everyone has taken their turn, flip their card down, then the cards all refresh, flip back up, and there's a brand new round. So you could feasibly wait until the end of a round, take your turn, and the cards all flip back up, and then take your turn immediately again. I think that this is really, really a great way to handle initiative because the players all know exactly what they're going to do in their turn. You don't have any more situations of like, hey man, it's your turn. Huh? What? What's going on? Who has he gone? What's happening now? You don't have any of that because the players intentionally decide, now I'm going to take my turn. So you can expect, at least to some degree, that they will have thought for a second about what they're going to do on their turn. Because they have said, okay, I'm going to take my turn now, I'm going to do this thing. It speeds up combat, it speeds up initiative. I have found it's a really fast, fluid system. Obviously, there are some kinks that this introduces, so let's talk about those. What happens if two players want to go at the same time, or a player and a bad guy want to go at the same time? Well, generally, how I handle that is a roll-off. That's when you use initiative. So you say, okay, I want to go. No, actually, I want to go. I want to go before he goes. Okay, both of you roll initiative and see who gets the higher score. Whoever gets the higher score goes first. One of the things I had to introduce was a quick patch to that, was only two players can try to go at the same time. Because what ended up happening was in big boss battles or whatever, the boss, who's very low on hit points near the end of the battle, wants to go first to do cool things and kill the heroes. But then all of the players also say, no, I'm going to go, no, I want to go. And you have this, okay, well now we're just rolling initiative every round that defeats the purpose and actually makes it even worse. So what we said is you can only have two people tie for initiative, that's it. So if you want to go and the other person wants to go, great, you two roll off and then we'll figure out who goes next. So what that means is if you say, I want to go, just kidding, I want to go, then, and you roll off, no matter what happens, one of you is going second. So you can't have somebody else snipe in and say, before the guy who declared goes, I'm going to also declare and push him further down the line. No. So two people say, I want to go, I want to go. They roll, and then they go 1-2, no matter what happens for other people declaring. So that's sort of fixed for that. What about lair actions? There is no initiative count 20 in this system. When do lair actions go? I always have lair actions go second. So lair actions, initiative count 20 is like high, but not penultimately high. You could definitely have a rogue with +5 or something, or a barbarian with even higher because they somehow get advantage, or certain classes also get to add charisma to. So you can have really high initiative bonuses. But most of the time, 20 is pretty high on the list. So I just say second. Somebody who is incredibly fast can go first, but pretty much everybody else is going after the lair actions. That fixes that. What about until the end of your next turn conditions? Yeah, it changes those up a lot. That, I will say, is dramatically changed by this system. So let's say a monk with Stunning Strike. I have a monk and he has Stunning Strike in my party, so that's what I'm going to talk about. A monk goes and stuns enemy A. And then what the monk can do is wait and hold their turn in the next round. After everyone else is gone, they refresh their cards, the monk just holds his turn. Waits till the very end of the round, and everybody else is still hitting that stunned person. And then the monk takes their turn. What that also means is that enemy A can just, okay, I'm going to wait and not take my turn either until the monk takes his turn. And then automatically get unstunned. So you have weird, degenerate, odd cases where sometimes somebody is stunned but doesn't actually miss a turn in the action economy, but is stunned for much, much longer than anticipated. So it does create wonky balance situations. If you are not interested in that, this probably isn't a good solution for you. Or maybe come up with a tweak or hotfix to that, I don't know. But that is definitely a very real situation I've encountered, is that it changes until the end of your next turn, or until the start of your next turn. Type things are dramatically changed by the wording and the specifics of this narrative initiative. So that's narrative initiative. I basically just got rid of it and had players go whenever they want to go. So they know what they're going to do on their turn. It's fast, it's fluid, it's dynamic. Combat starts when somebody takes an aggressive action. They flip their card, they take their turn, and then somebody else goes. There is no rolling, there's no waiting, there's no writing things down, there's no order. There's no having to remember who's in what order and remind players or write things down so they can see it. Obviously, this works better for me because I have a large party generally, and it makes things a little faster. If you're only running for 2 or 3 players, maybe this isn't that important, but I think it's worth a shot. I have been running it for like a year and a half, actually. I have been using it for a long, long time. So if you have any questions, things that I didn't answer, feel free to talk about them in the comments below. If you think it's a terrible idea, feel free to let me know, and I can maybe shed some light on why it might be a terrible idea for you, but is working really well for me. If you have any ideas, suggestions, tweaks, I would be happy to hear them. I'm always open to that. But this is a system I've been using. I think it works very, very well. Makes things fluid, changes things tactically. You can have the wizards say, hang on, wait, barbarian, don't go yet. I'm going to cast hold person, and then the barbarian goes and gets all those paralyzed crits, and that's awesome. And so you have a lot of things that you can do tactically, dynamically. When the bad guy's going to go, you never know. And so I think that's really interesting. I think it has spiced up our combats a lot. It has made our game a lot more fluid, a lot more fun. My players all really enjoy it. It's very, very easy to explain to new people. So that is a system that I use. Feel free to let me know what you think about it in the comments. I expect this to be sort of a controversial video because getting rid of initiative, it's in the bones of D&D, you can't do that. But I did, and it's been working out really well. So I'm sure there are people who don't like it. It's working really well for us. Let me know what you think, though. Hopefully next week we'll be back to making campaign diaries where you can feel free to steal from me. There are links I'm going to put probably to the campaign diaries if you want to just jump straight into those and check them out. I think they're a really cool story as well as a lot of cool lessons that I have learned and share with you so that you don't have to make the mistakes that I do. So thank you guys for watching. I am interested in hearing what you have to say about this topic, and I'll see you next week.